Hello everyone, my name is Artextric, and I'm here to explain to you the 8 fundamentals that you should be learning as a beginner or all the way to expert. So this is going to be simple and to the point. So number 1 is shape. Shape is basically what it is, 2D shapes. So whenever you're talking to your teacher or KCB, when they refer to the idea of shape, they're talking about the literal 2D shape flattening of it at that time. So like your triangles, your squares, it doesn't even have to be a shape with a literal name, it just has to be something you can identify based on what you're drawing. So it's literally the shape, the flat surface of it. Number 2, the idea of form. So form is really easy to understand. It's literally just the 3D aspects of the shape. It's about taking a square and making it into a cube, whether you're using lines, shadow, or light to convey a 3D space on that shape. That's literally what that is. So whenever your teacher says your forms are off, they're talking about the 3D aspect of the said shape, whether it's a arm, it could be a circle or a sphere, or some form of character that you're working on that you want to make it look more 3D, whether it's on paper or maybe you're using a certain program or something like that. Number 3 is gesture. So gesture is not, and I notice that a lot of you get this confused, but gesture is not anatomy, okay, or proportions. It's about, literally, it's in the name, gesture. It literally means like movement or conveying a sense of movement of whatever the character is doing, per se. So whether it's a cartoon, an anime, or a realistic person you're trying to draw, somewhere in between, I don't know. The point is trying to convey a sense of movement and action. It's literally a verb, like what are they doing? Are they doing ballet? Are they jumping? Are they dancing? Something like that. It's not about the focus or accuracy of the anatomy. It's just the focus on the accuracy of it's conveying what it's supposed to be doing at that time. I notice that a lot of you get that confused with anatomy. Now, I do have a thing where I think the word figure drawing and gesture drawing are kind of the same, but then again, they're not. The issue with this is that I think figure drawing is like a mix between accuracy, like anatomy, and gesture at the same time, because the figure, yes, I know it's about gesture, but I feel like that term should be more like between the two, and then gesture drawing is only focused on the movement. But that's just how I feel, literally, so you can take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that's the definition, but I just feel like when we use the word figure drawing, it should be more between like accuracy of anatomy and movement, and gesture drawing is just focused on movement. That's just how I feel, but you know, that's just me. Number 4, foreshortening. So foreshortening is the poor man's perspective. I know that sounds kind of rude, but like when you think of it, it is kind of. It's only about the idea of what's close and what's far. So when something's extremely close, it's usually really big, and something is extremely far away, it's usually really small. Or something that's kind of like normal, it's kind of like in the middle. It's not that big and it's not that small. It's kind of simple when you really think about it. So when you're drawing a character doing an action pose, or you're drawing a character doing something, and you want to show a sense of depth, that's literally what it is. Foreshortening is like depth and how close and how far something is. So if like a fist is coming at you, the fist should be bigger than most of the body, and everything else should be getting small relative to that, like getting smaller into the distance. So that's really what that truly is. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. Number 5 is balance. Now, this is something I'm more referring to digital art than it is traditional art. I never really tried this in traditional art before, and what I mean by this is flipping the canvas, kind of. I never really thought of a method of doing that. I'm pretty sure there is in traditional art, but like when it comes to digital, where you can actually press the button and just like flip back and forth between the horizontalness of if your drawing is mirroring correctly on one side to the next. I know a lot of you do not like doing this because it makes your drawings look kind of ugly, and that's not to put criticism, that's literally just a fact of life. It's not going to look good if you just draw on one side. You have to flip it. A lot of professionals do this. You may not see it in their time-lapse. I don't think they're editing that. I don't think the time, oh, I know Clip Studio Paint, it does kind of record flipping back and forth, but that's like really, really fast. So it doesn't really seem like they did, but it does happen. But majority of most professional digital artists, they do flip the canvas just to check for any inconsistencies or anything like that. I know most of you don't really like doing it, and I don't like doing it either. Don't trust me, I don't like doing it. But if you make it into a habit, it becomes more of a tool in your arsenal to make sure everything's looking correct on that particular drawing you're doing. So I suggest to do this when you're doing the beginning stages, so everything is on tact. I would not do this if you're like trying to do a line art. I think if you're doing like the sketch, and you're in the beginning phases, get that out of the way almost like instantly, so once everything looks good and when you start doing the line art, well, it's fair game at that point. You won't have to worry about it looking weird or strange. This actually jumps on 2 things. It fixes 2 things. 1, it fixes the why does it look like that type of situation where it looks like it's kind of leaning and looks off, and then 2, if your gesture's on point alongside that, it won't have that weird look when you do the line art. It looks really stupid or insane or something just doesn't feel right. It actually will solve that problem in most cases. Number 6 is pretty much perspective. Now you must be wondering, why did I put perspective not right after foreshortening? The reason why I did that is because, and I put them in a particular order in this way, they're like building blocks amongst each other, so keep that in mind. Perspective is kind of like a flip of a coin. So your eye line basically, like, so first thing you need to learn is the first all the way to at least 4th, you're going to be pretty solid in virtually anything, but this only works if you understand the horizon line. So for those who don't know, the horizon line is literally your friend. It is not there to destroy you, it's there to actually help you. I know it's kind of like sometimes intimidating to see the line, but if you actually practice this with the vanishing point, which is known as the VP, for some of you may know that term, I would suggest to practice a lot on it. It's not that big, actually. It's actually quite easy to understand. It's just, it gets kind of complex when you throw like a bunch of subjects and stuff like that, which I will do a video on that. Don't worry, I'll do a video on each subject, so I'm not just doing a recap, but I'm just literally telling you each one as a important sense of what to focus on once you master one after the other, so keep that in mind. Number 7. So this one is kind of simple, but yet it is challenging to understand. This goes for people who like to do illustrations and also people who like to do backgrounds. And what I'm talking about is composition. Composition is basically about framing and how you want to frame your subject and what you want to put importance on. Now, this can go several ways with just lines, or you can use light and shadow to bring importance to something. So it could be like an item, a character, something that you want to convey to your audience that has importance. So like, let's put that example. So if you have like a bunch of like, I don't know, squares or circles, right? And they're all blue, and you put like one red dot, you're gonna be more focused on the red dot compared to all the blue circles. Let's put it that way. That's probably the most easiest, simplest way of a form of composition. But like, there's more to it. Sometimes it's even like how things are arranged, depending on how everything's placed. Not even just point focus on one item and that's it. There's more to it. That what sometimes guides your eye to certain things, and it makes it much more interesting to look at it. So a lot of masters know how to do this, and even high professionals and even experts kind of figure this out at this time. So this is something that I would put a fair deal in once you understand perspective, because now, since perspective's out of the way, you can actually understand how to frame everything and do it the way you want, and then bring like attention to your characters, whether it's something of a fan art or a OC or whatever. Now, last but not least, the one thing that this leads to is proportions. Yes, that's weird. Why did I put proportions at the very end? Well, I put it at the end because the issue where if you put proportions at the very beginning, which is pretty much anatomy if you think of it in general, like if you combine all these 8 things, it leads back to anatomy and art style, and I'll explain that in a second. But like, when it comes to proportions, it's all about just accuracy and making sure everything lines up in a way that nothing's too big or what's not too small, just on a normal surface of what you're trying to draw. There's like a lot of tips on how to keep things in check, like the elbow should be lower than the rib cage, or like the bottom of the wrist is where the crotch starts and tops and stuff like that. And then I think, if I remember right, like your eyeball, I think the eyeball is the same space between your actual eye, if I remember right. I could be wrong on that. It's been a while. So the point of this is that the reason why I put at the bottom is if you can draw something really, really accurate, but if it lacks like, well, composition, if it lacks like movement, it's gonna look like a robotic robot. It's just gonna look boring. And I learned that over my times when drawing. I used to try to draw super accurately, and then I realized how like extremely stiff the drawing was, because it lacks like, not even form, it just lacks like movement. So that's why I put gesture drawing at the top 3 of this breakdown. So you should do these things in this particular order, and once you master them, you'll be surprised how much you can get a lot done. Now, like I said, I'm going to do a video on each one in the future, so look out for that, and I will explain how the art style problem is an issue. This will connect to that. So just be clear, just to recap: number 1, learn shape; number 2, learn form; number 3, learn gesture; number 4, learn foreshortening; number 5, balance, which is literally just flipping your canvas and like mirroring to make sure everything's correct; and then learn your perspectives from 1 to I think 4. I think if you can master those 4 things, you'd be surprised how much you can get a lot out of the way, and you really just jumped out of a bunch of headaches. But it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but if you practice it, you'll get it. And I think number 7, we're on composition, and then number 8 is proportions. So it's basically just accuracy, and it's all these things in general leads back to your art style and your understanding of. So this is just a quick recap. So this is not like a full tutorial. It's just what to start on for those who are having trouble, where to start. This is for beginners. Now, the next video we're going to talk about art style and how it's a bit of a ball and chain for most beginners all the way to experts per se. I'm going to explain that. That video should be at least 5 to 10 minutes long. I'm going to make it super short and just get to the point. And then after that, we will probably do more tutorials, and I'll explain more and show you how each fundamental is important, and we'll do more in-depth stuff in the future. And I'll teach you about anatomy stuff. So yeah. So that said, I hope this was helpful for those who watch this. I know it's super short, not much of a tutorial. I just recapped everything. So use this as a guideline to start if you're lost, if you don't know where to start. Do that first. Oh, and if you're going to ask anything about color theory, that's a thing by itself. So this is why I say do these 8 fundamentals first. And then you might ask, what about line art? Line art, I would say do the 8 first, understanding in a sketch type way, right? And clean up, and then do the line art. And then when you're done doing the line art, then you can jump into probably color theory. That's literally what I will expect. So that's it. So with that said, I hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys next one. And if you guys enjoy this, please give a follow and subscribe to this. So thank you. So I'll see you guys next one. Bye-bye.